People are asking the internet questions all the time, and sometimes I'm the one that they're asking specifically. I've collected a bunch of such short form videos. I'm going to watch them, and then you're going to watch me as I either have the answer or attempt to uncover the answer. Let's start with a video from the one and only composer of the actual Dirtman song, Carter Vale, who sent me a specific question.
I have a question for Hank Green. If you were taking a pill and then you like kind of breathed in at the same time and the pill went into your lung, what would happen? Would it work way more?
All right, Carter Vale, I know a term here. Pill aspiration. That's not two words you want to see put next to each other. Aspiration is when you suck anything into your lungs. Pill aspiration is when you suck a pill into your lungs. And this is, depending on what's in the pill, either very bad or very, 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 very bad. Now, the question of whether it's going to be like in your body quicker, you might think that because, of course, your lung has a lot more blood vessels than your stomach. Your lung will absorb things very quickly, but your stomach is very good at dissolving things, and your lung is not. Stuff that you breathe into your lung, it can just stay there forever. Like there was a kid, I know this story, Lego cone in lung. Man lives with a toy in his lungs for 40 years. They thought he had lung cancer. They were like, you have lung cancer, and I'm sorry to say that you might die. But no, in fact, 40 years ago, you breathed a Lego cone into your lung. There's no digestive system to pass through. It's only in, and getting stuff out can be very hard. And because your lungs aren't designed to dissolve stuff, some of the pill will dissolve, but it will not dissolve quickly, and you will not get like a rush of that drug. Now, there are ways to, how do I get around this? Like you can grind the drug up and then breathe it in. And in that case, it will get in quickly, but like don't do drugs. Like that's why people snort drugs, is because it's a fine powder. There's lots of surface area, they get it in, and then it hits very fast. Obviously, don't do that either. There's a bunch of good reasons to not do that. This is also the case when you inhale nicotine. Obviously hits really fast. But with a pill, anything solid, it's not gonna dissolve. However, it is moist in there, so it will start to dissolve some. And that can be very bad because the pill might contain acidic stuff or things that could actually eat through the lung. That's kind of the worst case scenario. In this case of the multivitamin pill that led to hemorrhagic bronchial necrosis, if you know what all of those words mean, that's obviously not a great scene. I'm not going to show you the pictures of this because it's bad. That's gross. What do we got next?
So I can't burp, right? I just ate, so I can actually show you what I mean. Oh.
Yeah. This is also a thing. I don't know what it's called, but like, let's just search for can't burp. Can't burb? Can't burb. Yeah, it's called retrocryopharyngeus dysfunction, or RCPD. How do you say this word? Keep a little word under the pillow for the word man. This is gonna be one of those fake ones, isn't it?
Cricopharyngeus.
Never trust those. But you have Merriam-Webster. Merriam-Webster knows what's up.
Cricopharyngeal.
Cricopharyngeal, and then I would assume cricopharyngeus, which is a muscle. It's a sphincter muscle that sits at the top of the esophagus. It's unable to relax, and as a result, it does not open to allow air to exit the esophagus. And I have to say, if it's going to be this one or this one, I'd rather this one be the one that can't relax. Because this is a sometimes necessary thing. This is an all the time necessary thing. While doctors and researchers don't know what causes RCPD, in most cases, it's a lifelong condition. I'm sorry to tell you about that, but I think there is good news. You can get Botox injections into your cricopharyngeal muscle, into that sphincter, not in like a regular Botox clinic. This seems like it's a fairly complicated procedure that you do like at an ENT place or something. And the outlook is over 99% of people were able to burp after getting the injections, and 95% experienced substantial symptom relief. And about 80% of people, the effects are thought to be permanent. So you like loosen up your sphincter one time and it's like, actually, I can do this now. This is amazing news. I'm very excited for you. I did spot something higher in the page that maybe you don't want me to share, but it makes sense that one of the symptoms of this disease would be excessive flatulence, because it's gotta go somewhere. You have a whole ass Sprite and you can't burp it out. You absolutely will fart it out. It sounds very uncomfortable, honestly. But I fully encourage you to get this Botox treatment. And then I also fully encourage you to film your first ever burp of your whole life and tell us how it feels. That's solid gold TikTok content. This Wild and Weird video is brought to you by Good.Store. It's a website where you can get a bunch of very cool and good stuff, and also all of the profit goes to make the world a better place. Today we're just gonna pick out Basin Soap, which is one of Good Store's brands, and they have so many good Ferrofluid soaps. We've got all natural ingredients, moisturizing, no harsh chemicals, eco-friendly. You could try out our shampoo bars. The Dewdrop is the one that I use. There's 81 reviews for this baby. What do they have to say? We got superb suds. We got my long, curly, sweaty locks. Thank you. There's actually a picture of this person's. Wow, that's a lot of hair. Look, you get it in a little paper box. So instead of your shampoo using a bunch of plastic to get stored inside of, you can get it as a bar. Also, Basin Soap has a ton of amazing, delicious soaps. You can get this afternoon 3-pack plus the Dewdrop bundle for just $33. Hey, I'm asking Helen, can I ask you to make a discount code for a Basin Soap thing? ? I was wondering if we could get 10% off the Dewdrop bundle. And Helen says, yes, I'll get it created. Do you want an expiration date? I do want an expiration date 2 weeks from now. But if you, in the next 2 weeks, you can get that bundle for 10% off, and people love it. Just add it to cart and use the coupon code Dewdrop. There's probably also a link in the description that'll make it happen. This also has reviews. Let's see what they had to say. The shampoo bar I wasn't originally interested in, but I figured I'd give it a try. I love it so much. The soap I wanted to try different scents, and all of them are amazing. I never had a soap that made me feel both super clean and left my skin feeling very soft. That is the thing that this soap does so well. All the profit goes to charity. Why do I do it? 'Cause I'm crazy!
I've never told anybody this before, like anybody. In 2014, during a...
Do redheads wake up during anesthesia more? Yeah, and they also have a higher tolerance to pain. This is weird. Redheads Anesthesia. And it's, yeah, Cleveland Clinic says, yes, redheads may need more anesthesia. If you have naturally red hair, feeling the pain may be in your DNA. Which is super weird, because like, what does the melanin in your hair have to do with your pain receptors? Let's get a SciShow on this. And maybe it's time to update the SciShow. Actually, it's not a terrible idea. We probably should. Hank from the future here. Turns out, SciShow, as I was recording this video, was working on an update to that video, and it is now released. So instead of whatever I said here, which is not as accurate or well-researched as what SciShow did, I'll just send you to the SciShow video. There's a link in the description. It's very good and very weird. And it is, in fact, to do with the hair color. Like, there is an actual reason why pain sensitivity and anesthesia tolerance are related to hair color, which is very weird. Anyway, next.
We have not been able to stop messing with this thing.
So I assume that well, that's a Ferrofluid. It looks like a Ferrofluid. So Ferrofluid speaker. Boom, came up. $129 or $55 if you want to get it from AliExpress, which I wouldn't necessarily suggest. But so a Ferrofluid, we'll look up what a Ferrofluid is. It's just a fluid that has a bunch of little magnets inside of it. So a colloidal liquid. So that means like it's a liquid, but there's like little particles inside of it that are do not clump together. They stay separated. Milk is a colloid. These magnetic particles are suspended in the carrier fluid, and each magnetic particle is thoroughly coated with a surfactant to inhibit clumping. And that's what keeps it a colloid. And they're super cool, and I guess in some cases, they can actually be one liquid inside of another liquid. I assume that like one of them's hydrophobic and one of them's hydrophilic. I don't actually know. My guess would be that the ferrofluid would be in something that's polar, like water, and then there would be a non-polar thing that fluid is inside of, like oil. I think that's probably what's going on here with this toy. And then the device has some kind of receiver that receives sounds and then converts them into some kind of electrical impulse that then converts that into a magnetic impulse, and then you see the magnetic impulse as it impacts the ferrofluid, which is just a very good idea. I'm glad that somebody created this idea and that they're selling it as a teenager gift, according to... What do I do if I just type in teenager gifts to Amazon? Teenager gift. You get a moon? You get a moon and a tortilla? Yes, absolutely. This is what the teens want. They want to wrap themselves in a tortilla. Actually, I want that. Maybe I'm a teen.
Talk to me about this, okay? I've owned these tongs for a year. How do they open? Finally decide to do this.
Ooh. I don't think you need to be a scientist. That's an engineer thing. I can't really explain it to you, but there's something in there that's falling open when it's upside down, and then it's falling back in place, keeping it closed when it's right side up. This is great. Yeah, I actually know what's going on here. I'm pretty sure. I don't know what else it could be. Metal has, like any metal at room temperature, is going to contain a fair amount of heat, more heat than an ice cube will. And when it comes into contact with an ice cube, it's going to melt part of that ice cube. So the moment the metal of this bracelet touches the ice cube, it's going to melt a little bit of it, and there's going to be a little bit of water there. But then that heat is going to continue dissipating into the ice cube. The metal will cool down, and the water will refreeze, and then is now frozen by the previously melted water to the bracelet, as if you just licked a flagpole with your tongue. And then you've got ice stuck to your bracelet. I'm pretty sure that's what's going on. I don't know what else it could be. I am positive that your ice doesn't have like magnets in it. This isn't a Googleable one. I'm just going off of what I understand of how thermodynamics works.
Hank Green, why does this happen?
What's happening? It's like a lemon seed.
Come on, there it goes. That's a lemon seed.
I love it. I love that little lemon seed. Just going for a ride and a little perpetual motion machine of lemon seediness. So that lemon seed is providing a little place for the dissolved carbon dioxide in your sparkling water here to come out of solution. So carbon dioxide has been forced into that sparkling water, either by an industrial process or by the earth. And then it comes out. When you uncap it, it wants to come out. But like thermodynamically, it can't come out instantaneously all at once. Like some of it does, right? When you open it, you see those bubbles all form at once. But some CO2 stays dissolved, and it comes out of solution in the places where it's like most convenient. And that lemon seed has what's called nucleation sites, where the CO2 can bind to it and be like, I'm gas now. So those bubbles form on the lemon seed, and they get bigger and bigger and bigger as more CO2 comes out of solution into those bubbles. And then it starts to float. And then when it hits the top, the bubbles go out into the atmosphere, and the seed, which no longer has a bunch of bubbles floating it up, sinks back down to the bottom. Please, 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 don't prove alright. My general opinion is you're probably fine. Like, I guarantee you nothing you're doing with your cutting board is worse than smoking a cigarette. But obviously, if you have a plastic cutting board, you're gonna be getting some plastic in your food. And we are still in the progress of understanding how microplastics, or macroplastics, in this case that would be a macroplastic, affects the human body. But plastic cutting board bad? According to recent research at this is foodandwine.com. Peer-reviewed study published in the journal Environmental Science and Technology found that boards may in fact lead to significant amounts of microplastic in our food. That, like, obviously, but is that bad? We know that these toxins aren't benefiting our health, they say. They're linked to harming the human body as a source of toxic chemicals. They're connected to various cancers and disorders. Let's see that. Microplastics everywhere, Harvard Medicine. While research develops, solutions beckon. Okay. Yeah, I mean, definitely, like, if it's got BPA or phthalates or heavy metals, those are all known to cause problems. I doubt that there's BPA or phthalates in cutting boards. A thing to remember is that plastics are not one thing. They are many, many things, and they're going to have different impact. Now, I would rather, just like on vibes, not have plastic in my food. The reason people will say to not use wood cutting boards is because they will harbor more microorganisms. There's more like pores for microbes to hide in. If you're like cutting meat and then you do a good scrub down and then you're cutting vegetables that aren't going to get cooked, you might end up with some E. coli on those vegetables, because even a good scrub down, it's not going to get rid of all the E. coli and all the pores of a wooden cutting board. And like, I'm not a cutting board expert, but I can Google best cutting boards material, and maybe it'll tell me. Because what Catherine got are these they're made of wood, but they're like not like sliced wood. I don't know, like the healthiest cutting board material according to Healthier Homes, who, look, I don't know. I feel like we put a lot of pressure on ourselves to be perfect, and we don't need to. We got wood, we got stone and porcelain, which, and we got polyethylene plastic, durable, non-toxic plastics. Plastic is a non-renewable resource, and deep scratches can become breeding grounds for bacteria over time. And wood is not dishwasher safe, but apparently wood is naturally antimicrobial. I don't know about, there's a lot of different woods too. Additionally, they should be regularly conditioned with non-toxic food-safe oil to maintain their integrity and prevent bacterial growth. It's advisable to have separate wooden cutting boards for different food groups. So you have like a meat board and a vegetable board to minimize the risk of contamination. The world is too complex. If you want to know what we use in the Hank Green household, it's these that are like pressed, like composite fiber ones. And I think we got them at the grocery store. But they also apparently are knife safe. And now you know that. But also, these cutting boards that this person got might also be great. And they were $16.99, which seems like a great deal. And in general, my opinion is that we worry too much. And now we know those things. It's fun. Thanks everybody for sending questions. It does make my life a little bit more fun.